In this session, I'm going to show you how to create a new sequence using Adobe Premiere Pro. First, we are going to know what is sequence. Sequence is a collection of a video or images, or we have all those multimedia elements together to create a single footage. We may have all those things or limited amount of elements in that sequence. That sequence will have the particular concept or the particular scene. That sequence will have start to end, all those same kind of colors, same kind of audio values. So if you have a particular video production, like you have 5 minutes duration short film or a documentary film, if you are going to use different tone for different scenes, you can construct different scenes with the help of this concept, which is a sequence. So the sequence will have the combination of all those elements. Right now you can see in my timeline it shows me like it has no sequences. So now what I am doing is I come to this my project panel. Here I right click. When I right click, you can see I can able to create a new bin. I can able to create a new search bin. I do have option which is new item. So with the help of this option, I can able to add a new content using these options. You can see what are all the things we can able to add. We can able to add the project shortcut, offline file, adjustment layer, the bar and tones, black video, color matte, which is the color solid background. So you can able to use all those things. Here I'm going to use the option which is sequence. Now I choose sequence. When I choose sequence, it shows you the sequence setting. You can see we have 4 tabs here. We have sequence preset, settings, track, and VR video. First we have the sequence preset. In sequence preset, you can able to see we have different preset values, like how we have different preset values in other software like Adobe Photoshop and other softwares. So you have different uses here. Like if you are going to use the camera, RE camera, you can edit that with the help of this RE preset sequences. You can see we have the full HD value for that. We do have this one which is 2K. We have the RE 1080p. We have 23.976 the frame per second. We have 24, we have 25. So based on the setup, the preset what you are choosing here, you will have the changes in this preset description and it's general. You can see all those things. And after this RE you have this AVC. So if you want to create the video content for television production, you can use this 1080i. You can choose which dimension you need. When I choose this the very first one, you can see here we have the video settings and here we have the project description. This preset description shows you what is the aspect ratio. It has a 16:9 aspect ratio and it has 15 frame per second. You can see here we have 1080i 50. This 1080 is the resolution of this particular preset, and this I is interlaced. You can see that, and we have 50 is the frame per second. We have the audio with the 48,000 hertz, and we have the general values here. It shows you frame size. It has 1920 1080 pixels, and it too has 25 frame per second. After this I have this one which is 1080p. So P means progressive lines, so you will have 1920 into 1080 progressive lines there, and we have the frames which has 24, 25, 30. So if you want to create the full HD video, you can choose this one, and if you want to create the HD, you can use this one. You can see that we have all those preset values. And if you have created with the Canon camera, you can use this option. If you have created with the digital SLR cameras, you can use these options. You can see we don't have any interlace concept here. We have only these 3, which is the 1080p, which is progressive line, which is also called full HD resolution, There also you have different frames per second. You have 30, 25 and 24. We do have the HD resolution, the basic HD resolution, which will have 1280 into 720 pixels with the different frame per seconds. And if you want to create the basic video which has a minimum resolution, you can use this option, which is 480p. You can see that. So these are the digital SLR camera values. The same way we have different values here. You can see that. So you don't want to set the manual, the frame size as well as the resolution. You have all those options here. You can see we have 4K with the 24 frame per second. We have 4K with the 50 frame per second, and we have Ultra HD dimensions here. And I choose here, I can able to see that what is the dimension we have, and in 4K also you can able to see the exact 4K values here. So we have all those presets here for this dynamic high definitions. And if you want to create this video content for a basic video broadcasting, the standard quality, you can use this DV options. So in DV you can see we have standard, which has 720 pixels width and 480 pixels height. It too has a frame per second in different values, and has different audios. Here you can see we have two variations. We have standard view as well as the widescreen view. And now I come to this NTSC as well as PAL. So based on the region, you can choose which one you want, PAL or NTSC. It has a major difference. You can see the PAL, we have the video size into the frame size into 720 into 576 pixels. But if you look at this NTSC, we have 720 into 480 pixels. So we know this is the major difference we have with this NTSC and PAL, because of the aspect ratio and the screen display of the PAL system as well as the NTSC system. Now I have this digital video CPR. So you can use those interlace values if you want here. So we have all those values here. We do have the value for red, so you can able to edit those red recorded videos, the red camera recorded videos. And we also have the VR. So if you want to create the stereoscopic video content, you can use this option. You can see we have 1:1 aspect ratio content here. So if you want to create the VR video content, you can use these options. We have different resolution for that. We have 2K and we have 4K till we have 8K. We have values here for VR content. After VR, we have other camera values. So we have lots of presets here. Based on your purpose, the video editing purpose, you can choose which kind of the sequence you need. Right now I'm going to use the very simple one. I'm going to use the digital SLR. And here I'm going to use 1080p. I'm going to choose this 30, since I have 30 frame per second. But you can see here in this other footages, I had different frame per seconds. For example, for this the production ID, this strawberry video, I have 50 frame per second, but here I have different values. We know that, but that will adjust automatically according to this sequence. So I choose that particular value. And now I come to this settings tab. In the settings tab, it shows you what kind of editing mode you have chosen. Of course I was choose digital SLR, which is DSLR. You can see that here also you can change if you want. It shows you different modes here, like it shows you Sony XD cam and other all options. Now I come to this time base. I can able to select the particular frame per second here. So this is what I'm going to use. And we have frame size. If you want to customize the frame size, you can do that work here. For example, if I'm going to use 1040 instead of 1080, I can able to customize that here. You can see that, but by default we have the different aspect ratio here. Now that was changed. Now I'm going to use the same value, 1080. Then it shows you it has a 16:9 aspect ratio, and we have pixel aspect ratio here, the square pixels. And if you want to change the square pixels into on the widescreen or something different, you can use options here, but I recommend you to use this square pixels for a digital video editing works. And we have the fields where you need. I have no fields, but if you require, you can use this upper field first or lower field first. but I don't need any field here. And we have different format, the timecode format here. I'm going to choose this very first only, this 29.97 frame per second. And we have work color specifications. I also going to use the same the default value, which is rec 709. And here I have the audio profile. I have 48,000 hertz audio value. You should not change that. This is a default value. And we have the display format, which is audio samples for this audio. And we have the video preview here. So if you want to set the preview, I can use this option. Here itself I can able to set the what is the exact width and height of the particular preview. And we do have this composite linear color. I'm going to enable this. Of course, by default also it will be in enable mode. And if you want to maximum the bit depth, you can increase that. And if you want to maximize the render quality, you can increase here with the help of these options. But that will consume more file size. At the same time, you need a better configuration system for that. So if you want, you can enable that, but not going to use that. And here I'm going to give a name for this a sequence. I'm going to give a name which is food. Don't confuse with the project name as well as this sequence name, or I'm going to give a name which is food sequence. So I was given a name which is food sequence, and I'm going to choose OK. And before that, I'm going to choose this also, or track. In track, you can able to see I'm going to have 3 video tracks by default. If you want more tracks at the beginning, you can use your keyboard. You can increase how many tracks you need. I was pressed enter accidentally, and you can see we have 5 tracks here in this timeline. I'm going to close this panel, not a panel. I'm going to delete this sequence, because I just want to explain that concept complete. I just want to add another sequence, and I'm going to have the same DSLR value. I was having the track, so I was having the track which is 5, and I pressed tab instead of press enter. So I will have 5 video tracks in the timeline, the new timeline. And you can see we have 3 audio tracks here. So if you want to add more, you can use this option, which is add a track. So I got one more track here, you can see that. So with the help of this option, I can able to add more tracks here. And we have the audio track mix value. If you want to have a stereo, you can use the stereo. And if you want 5.1 audio, you can choose 5.1, and you can utilize according to your need. I do have multi channels, so based on the need, I'm going to choose which one I want. And in this audio profile setting, I have the track name. I can set the track name here itself. Like I'm going to give a name which is the background music. I'm going to give it the shortcut, the short name which is BGM. And here I'm going to give a name which is environment sound. I'm going to give a name which is ambience. And here I'm going to give a name which is dialogue. So the same way, you can able to define the name of the particular track, and you can define how many tracks you need for a video. Now I'm going to choose only one, so we are going to have only one track there. And you can set the the particular pan value of the audio also. I'm going to have that into 0, because I just want to hear all those sounds in left as well as right hand channels. Now finally, after setting this sequence preset settings track, I'm going to set this VR video. If you are going to create the VR video, that time only you are going to use. Otherwise, you don't need. Here you have the projection. You can choose which projection you need, and you can choose what kind of VR video you need, like monoscopic, or if you are going to have stereoscopic, like side by side, left and right, and top and bottom, which is over and upper. You can use this option. And if you are going to have 180 or 360, you can also set that value here. So if you are going to use VR video, you can enable that. Otherwise, I just have the projection into none. I was added all those options. If you want these settings, and you are going to use these settings for multiple times, you can just click this option, which is save preset. I'm going to give a name food sequence, and I'm going to give a name which is save preset, and I'm going to give a name food edit. and here I'm going to give a description if I require. I'm going to choose OK, and you can see we got a new preset here, and I can able to select what kind of settings I need. So at the end you can see we have the new custom setting, we have the frame width and height, all those settings what we have created. So I choose that, and I was choosing this option, that sequence name. Finally I'm going to choose OK. So when I choose OK, we got 3 video tracks as well as 3 audio tracks here. So this is how we are going to use this option, which is create new sequence. In this project panel you can see I got a new sequence here. So this is the sequence what we have created in this class. You can see we have the other files, like we have the video file here, we have the image file here, and we do have another video here. Those video as well as other content don't have any small icons at the bottom, but this sequence has a small blue colored icon which also has the illustrations of the timeline editing needle. So this is the indication this is not a project normal file. This is a sequence file, will have multiple video as well as audio tracks in this timeline. We can utilize that for creating video editing project works. So this is how we are using this new sequence creation in this Adobe Premiere Pro. In next lesson we are going to see how to utilize this in our timeline.